Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the White Belt MMA podcast, and it's an absolute pleasure to have on the show again a good friend of the show and a UFC middleweight now.
Yeah, buddy.
Dwight Grant, who's set to fight next Saturday against Dustin Stolzfus on the UFC on ABC card in Long Island. And I mean, we see Dwight in a little change of scenery here. So, like I said, it looks like he's in the city now.
Yeah, I'm in Brooklyn Academy of Music. I used to skate here like all the time, like back in the day. So I didn't like plan on being here. We were just actually walking to the Brooklyn Bridge. And then it was at 2 o'clock. So we like, just stop here and do the interview here, and go by. But it fits, I used to work maybe like a block that way for like a bunch of years at Atlantic Terminal. So it was pretty cool.
I mean, dude, like, is it, especially you coming back to your hometown, right? Because I mean, like, dude, you're from New York. You're fighting in your hometown. Yeah. So like, is it like a cool little like full circle moment that you're like, man, like it's crazy to see how far I've come in life to like legitimately just come back to where it all started.
Man, like I left to go to California because of the fact that there was no MMA here. Like it wasn't legal at the time, And now I'm back. I feel like it's crazy just walking through and seeing how much Brooklyn has changed, but also like seeing the people and how things are, really the same. We have a lot of cool people walking by, talking about stuff, stop by in some shops, people from here who own it, and talking about things that are happening. I feel like really like amped up, man. Like really amped. It's crazy.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like you said, since you gone back to Brooklyn, right? And like some things have changed, some things will stay the same. Have you gone to one of those convenience stores, get your deli sub yet, or no? Because you're a middleweight now. So, I mean, hopefully you can eat a little bit more now.
Oh yeah, I've been eating for sure. like for sure. I mean, because this week before the fight, and I've been getting a whole bunch of stuff, man. Like just having lunch, after training, and like a big lunch is like a big deal. And because normally at this time I'm like cutting weight, prepare for the actual weight cut, But now I'm training, I'm eating, I'm getting replenished. I'm able to train again. Like I actually getting more training in, which actually made me lose more weight, which is crazy. So then I had to start eating to gain weight. To maintain my weight, which is awesome. That's an awesome change,
No, yeah, 100%. I mean, and I'm assuming that just pretty much answered my next question. Was that the reason because of the move to back to middleweight? Because I mean, for the last couple of fights, man, you've been at welterweight for a good minute now. So was that just kind of the fact now that you're just like, I just kind of needed more energy throughout my training camps to actually just get to the fight and be clear headed?
Well, that's more like a byproduct in a way. Like in my last fight, like I was in the middle of it. It was the first time where I was like, man, like I'm noticing that I'm not as energetic as I should be. Like I knocked the guy down and I went in for the finish. And as I went for the finish, I felt myself being labored. I felt like feeling kind of weird and off balance. And then at one point he had my back and I was fighting the hands. And all these things I was thinking like, man, like this feels like almost like weight cut when I'm training. It doesn't feel like how it should. And then I remember also before when I finished the weight cut, I told my coach, I was like, man, now the hard part is over, and he was looking at me like I was stupid, because he's like, you got to fight somebody still. And I was like, yeah, but to me, the weight cut is the fight. Like once I make weight, like the fight is like whatever, but a lot of that preparation and mental energy goes into just making weight. And I always make weight, so it's not a problem, but you know what I mean? I feel like I gotta have a better performance if I don't have to cut as much.
No, 100%, man, 100%. And like we just keep on mentioning, right? You're back in New York, back in your hometown, and dude, you're gonna be fighting in front of pretty much the home crowd. So like, how does that feel knowing that like, like you said, when you left New York, like it wasn't people, but now it's, I mean, pretty much mainstream. It's everywhere. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people in the city are already talking about it. You probably see a bunch of billboards saying UFC Long Island.
Yeah, my bad. I'm in the city, so you're gonna hear.
You can, I mean, you're in the city, so it was expected, though.
Yeah. I hope we will make it through. But I can't say the same. But it's crazy being in the hometown because for the past like a couple of years, I've been in California, and I'm not from there. Like, by the way, of Brooklyn, New York, and everybody would cheer because people love Brooklyn everywhere. So they'll cheer. But they don't even know Brooklyn. You know what I mean? At least here when people cheer, it's like I know so many people. And also for the first time in a long time, my family is gonna be here watching me fight and do MMA. That's another thing that's kind of crazy. I'm gonna have that motivation. And one more thing too. You can hit me right back. One more thing also is I was training with my friends that I trained with before I left. You know, before I first left, you know, when my friends opened up a school in Brooklyn, Unlimited Martial Arts, and I was training there. Some of my old training partners, and dude, it's like just the love for martial arts. Forget about just the fighting, just for the art and trading stories and techniques about the art. You know, it felt almost like sitting down and talking about comic books in a way. You know, like you have your favorite things and you talk about your stuff and you argue about which one's better. And I was like, this is what got me into martial arts and kept me here of all these years. And I miss that, man. You know, I really miss it.
Yeah, 100%. And was that where you were teaching the seminar yesterday too? Because I saw on your story that you were teaching a seminar. So how was that?
Oh, it was great. It's my first time ever teaching a seminar, and that's another dream come true because I wanted to teach at my friend's school. You know, like imagine like me and this guy, like we started our training together. Like we went to Scotland and won a world championship together like 10 years ago. You know, like and then go through all this way, and then I'm back here in the UFC teaching at his school. He opened up his own school. That was his dream. I got I got in the UFC. That's my dream, and here we are meeting up together. And you know what I mean? If this was a movie, this would be the part where you know what I mean? Like it would be this fight, and then it would be just like, cool. That's how the credits go. But you know, I'm looking to start here and then move on to big things from here.
No, yeah, man, 100%, man. And there's more to the story. So more of the story, like you said, I mean, like we mentioned at the start, right? Dustin Stolzfus, right, on Saturday. So, you know, when did you, you know, get? I mean, when was like the first talks with the UFC saying that this was the fight on the table, back to middleweight?
Oh, I mean, well, I think it was maybe a couple of days after the last fight. I feel like it was within a week because I think my manager stuff didn't realize how much weight I cut because I make weight. Like I never complain about the weight cut. You know, I just do it no matter what. The last one we had a bit of a hiccup in the middle of it where like the scale wasn't exactly right that we got, and I actually had to lose more weight than I thought. And I still made weight. You know, no complaints. But at the same time, when I told my manager how much it was, how much weight I cut, like he cut like 30-something pounds. And he was like, that's not what you're supposed to do. And I was like, I've just been around wrestlers and stuff for so long where I've seen them cut a lot of weight. You know, so to me, that's like so like the norm. But man, I really wish I did this a lot sooner just because of like the quality of life, you know, like I mean, it sounds so stupid to say now, but like, you know, I'm hanging out with my son and I'm training and stuff beforehand. And I really feel like now I'm actually being present. You guys want to stay here? Oh, okay. Let me make sure. You know, I feel like I'm present and I'm like doing all this kind of cool stuff and I have the energy to do it. You know, so like I'm training early in the morning, like 5 in. I'm done by like 11 o'clock, and then I have the whole day to hang out with this kid. You know, hang out with my family and do a bunch of cool stuff, and then go to sleep and start again the next day. As before, I would need so much time to recover that I would just be like laying down in the corner just waiting, you know, trying to get my energy back just to pick him up from school or something minimal. So this is a huge change.
100%, man. And I'm happy to hear that too, man, because, you know what I mean, like you said, it's like, you know, if you can have a little bit more energy on fight week, man, that's the best thing you can do, man. So 100%. I mean, and then with that little bit of more energy that you had, right? You know, I heard that you went to go watch Thor yesterday, right? And, you know, every time you and me, you know, get on one of these calls, man, we go full blown, you know, nerd over here and talk about the MCU. So for you, man, again, as anybody, you know, for anybody watching this and, you know, haven't seen Thor yet, this is the time that you should probably skip a little ahead to the video. So, Dwight, what do you think about about Thor? Because for me, I had my thoughts about it.
Man, it was a fun ride, you know. Like one thing I said from the very beginning of the movie was just like when they were showing just the build up of like his journey as Thor, I was like, you know what? It's crazy how the MCU is taking these characters that I did not really care about when I was a kid and making them very interesting characters. I'm watching this guy go through the you know, running and becoming a man, you know. And I'm like, man, when I was a kid, like I would skip his comics. Like, you know, if I saw the Asgardian stuff like that, I had the comic book cards, but when I would see them in a book, I'd be like, oh boy, here we go. You know, and I would just like shoot, until I got to the part that where they stopped talking. They used to talk so much, like a lot of Asgardian comics with them talking over and over again. And here I am caring about this character, his development, his arc, and they added an element of comedy to it that I think was great. You know, so just that alone was amazing. It made the movie more palatable, I guess, because you expected the comedy and there's a lot of great action and it all melded together. I mean, I thought it was amazing. You know, like was this my favorite one of this year? I mean, you got No Way Home that came out this year, so
Yeah.
that's gonna be
I keep
be
forgetting that
impossible.
was this year too, because it's like it seems so long ago, and it seems like it
Yeah.
was just an event of itself. So
Yeah, that's gonna be impossible to beat for me because Clemens was my favorite. You know,
yeah,
but it was really good. I think it's one of the best ones, if not the second best for me that came out this year.
no,
Yeah.
100%. It's one thing that I do wish they kind of included more in the movie though. I feel like they should have included a little bit more of Gore the God Butcher, right? Because Christian Bale, I feel like he knocked it
Oh,
out of the park too. So it's like I don't know. I feel like they could have
yeah.
done a little bit more with that character.
Well, the thing about that's weird is like I mean, the MCU understands, right, that you need great villains to make a great movie.
Yeah,
You have to do it, right?
yeah.
And I think they make good villains. They make you want to see things with that villain. You know, I think I mean one of my favorite ones was Ultron. You know, at first it's
Yeah.
just as a villain, and then Killmonger in Black Panther was like a great villain, and they're complex villains that have like history and stuff like that, and it makes it a lot better. You know, this villain, not only was he good, but the actor was, oh my god, Christian Bale was doing an amazing job. And there was a scene where he's talking to the kids, you know, and it was so menacing. I was like, man, he needed more screen time, you know. But I think they could have included a little bit more of him so you could care about him a little bit more, because I think if they showed a little bit more of his backstory, that would have led him up to becoming the way he was, you know, you would feel for him a little bit more. Yeah, and I think that's really important. So that's the only part that I could kind of criticize. Other than that, like I was enjoying the whole ride.
Yeah, I mean, since now that we're like in the multiverse, quote unquote, madness, a little pun there, right? I mean, like, do you think he might come back in the future too, or is it you think his just storyline is done? Unfortunately, yeah.
No, I think he it's a shame to waste such a great actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, unless he just like, look, guys, I just want to do one movie,
Yeah.
and then I'm out of here. You know, unless that's what it is. But it would be a shame to get somebody so good. I think one thing I used to always say about these movies is that when you see a great actor playing a role, he's gonna be back.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why have it one time? And I think he's gonna be back. You know, like maybe not the next movie, you know, but maybe like 2 movies down the road or somebody else's movie, he'll come back in another way, because he did too good of a job. I didn't read any reviews and see what people are saying about him, but for me, like he did too great of a job and put up too great of a fight, man. Like it's so important to have somebody that can go toe to toe with the main hero in the movie. I mean, even if it's a guy who just like Lex Luthor or like the leader, you know, like from the Hulk. You gotta have somebody that the Hulk can fight, somebody that Thor can go hand in hand with. And when a person is formidable mentally and physically, and they can go hand in hand, and that's a great movie right there. So I think he has to come back.
No, yeah, I mean, like you said, man, he's too good to let go of waste. You know, he should probably come back in 2, right? And then again, it also leads my question to the other movie that we were supposed to talk a little bit about is Doctor Strange, man. John, that was a great movie, but do you think John Krasinski is coming back as Mr. Fantastic? Because if he doesn't, man, I'm gonna be so pissed.
He has to.
Yeah.
I mean, now with that movie, I've got some thoughts about that movie.
Okay. Spill, man. I want to hear them.
I just watched it again on maybe like 2-3 days ago before I saw Thor, and man, I just feel like geez, Scarlet Witch is way too strong in that movie. Like I understand. I read X-Men comics. You know what I mean? I've read them for years. I know how strong she is and how strong she can get. But she was so strong in this movie that like even Professor X couldn't deal with her. All right. Now this is my thing. If she was that strong a long time ago, there would be no X-Men comics. You know what I mean? Like Quicksilver, Magneto, and Scarlet Witch would have took over the universe a long time ago. Like it was too crazy. At least they should have made it look more laborious when she actually fought people. I mean, she's Captain Marvel. Come on, man. Like give me a break. Come on. I mean, she did a great job portraying the character, and that made me like the character even more. But for the amount of damage and destruction she was doing, it was unbelievable. But it didn't take me out of the movie. I liked it. I still enjoyed it. But I was just like, come on, when you start messing with my heroes, I mean, Mr. Fantastic, he shouldn't be in a battle situation most of the time. You know what I mean? Even in a Fantastic Four, he leans back. You know what I mean? Like he's the least powered one in that group. You know, so for him to be the first person to throw the first punch in that movie, it's like this is not the smartest man in the world because he should have been like, you know what, I'll be back here, guy.
I mean, it kind of goes back to like like the memes that like people are making about him in the movie too. It's like I guess he's not the smartest man in the world if he gives away that guy's powers. I always forget his name. The guy with the one that's out.
Black Bolt.
Yeah, Black Bolt. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did give it away. You're right about that. I didn't even think about that. And for some reason, you know what it is? Because I just know that character. For some reason, I just assumed that she knew him too. But you're right. She didn't. Yeah, he didn't know that. That was
I've seen a bunch of those memes saying it's like he gave it with superpower. And I mean, man, it was a gruesome death. So Sam Raimi really he kind of pushed the edge for a PG-13 rating too, because man, this whole head blew off.
That they really really walked into a horror movie territory. In that particular one, it felt like more like a horror movie, especially when she came out the not the TV screen. She came out the portal, kind of like The Grudge. It was like I was like, okay, this is going to be an interesting movie. But when she was chasing them through the I guess I don't know, that wasn't the sanctum. It was like wherever they were, they had the laboratory and everything where they fought.
The ultimate universe, like reality type of life.
When she was chasing him through there, it felt like a horror movie. And I was like, okay, I don't know if my kids gonna be able to watch this and not have a lot of questions. But that part, matter of fact, no, that wasn't even the scariest part. To me, the scariest part is when the zombie part started and he had all those arms as the thing. That to me was an image that I will never forget. I was like, oh, geez, Louise, man, this guy right here, he's going in. But at the same time, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. And the story between him and his love interest, I can't remember her name, but Rachel McAdams. That story, I didn't even realize it until my friend told me that I didn't see that exact What If episode. We had a What If episode where he was trying to save her.
Yeah, that was such a great episode too.
I went and watched it afterwards, and I was like, oh, new perspective. New perspective. So I enjoyed that movie a lot, but I just felt like they should have made it look a little harder for Scarlet Witch because she looked like she was just easily like, And
again, I was just same question I asked for Christian Bale. I'm about to ask for Scarlet Witch. You think she's back? You think she's coming back? I mean, in the movie, it seemed like it was the end of her storyline. But then again, it's like that little rule right in MCU. It's like if you don't see the body, you know what I mean. They might be coming back.
I think it's the end of that particular Scarlet Witch storyline. Yeah. But the other one, the one that I feel like I'm trying not to spoil stuff, even though like we're already talking about it.
Yeah.
But the one with the kids, like I feel like she's gonna come and be the new Scarlet Witch, and her slate is clean. She never did WandaVision. She never did all these things to people. It was a different Scarlet Witch. So it's gonna be like, hey, you can't really get mad at her for something that the previous one did. So I think that's how they're gonna like kind of clean off her record. They're gonna,
expunge all that. That's a nice way of putting it.
Expunge everything. Like, this actually wasn't her. It was somebody else. And they're gonna have one person mad at her, and then they have to explain that it's a different one. And it's like, oh, okay. And the audience realizes if they don't know, it's a different person. We can't get mad at her for anything that happened before. So I'm almost 100% sure she's gonna come back because she did a great job, and also I feel like she's part of the whole MCU family. It's one of the main characters. She should be back.
100%, man. 100%. So, again, man, like we always nerd about MCU. So, like, my question is after these two movies, we're halfway through phase 4. Where are we going now, man? Because I feel like so many new characters and so many different vibes from these characters. I mean, we don't even talk about the shows yet, right? Like Moon Knight, Miss Marvel. Like, how are they all going to fit into this? Because I'm assuming at the end of the day, we're leading up to another quote unquote Avengers movies, but like, how do we do that? How do we go from here, man? And you're old nose deep into comic books, man. So you need to tell us what the hell's gonna happen here.
Well, I don't know what's gonna happen for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if a Secret War situation happens where they have to like collapse everything into a single universe and kind of like retcon or reconsolidate everything. That wouldn't surprise me, but that's actually like 90% where I think they're gonna go. Where they have to multiverse happens and they have to collide everything and make one universe. And they mentioned 616 and all this other stuff like that in the movies already. So it's like it needs to happen. But what I would love to see would be Avengers versus X-Men.
And they still haven't been introduced yet, so it's coming soon, hopefully. Yeah. That's
my fan dream. When I heard what was it? I heard the X-Men theme in the middle of it. I was like, oh my gosh! And then Professor X came out. That's the part where I was like, man, I would love to see that. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna turn into a multiverse, and then they're gonna have everybody combined into one universe or one reality. Because it's either that or I don't know if you guys you heard the champions before. We had the champions. You had Miles Morales, you had Miss Marvel, you had Nova, and you had the Hulk, and then the young Cyclops. All and then the Ironheart. They all came to make a little team. I'd love to see that, but I feel like that's too much buildup. Maybe that'd be phase 5 or something,
Yeah.
But phase 4 for the rest of this, I think it's gonna all end off with a Secret War situation.
So, yeah. I can't wait. Wait, what's the next movie that's supposed to be coming off after Thor? Is it Ant-Man and Ant-Man 3? Or
I don't know. I actually stopped looking at the release schedule because like it was like it was way
too much.
It was like my decision making was getting affected by like what was coming out at what time. I was like, I gotta go. I'm fighting next week, and I was just like, man, like okay, so July 8th, I gotta make sure that you know what I mean. I have access.
Get in the way of your livelihood, man.
But you know what it is? It's just because like some people like they post spoilers in the weirdest way. Like they'll like talk about things that happen in the movie in like a huge thumbnail. And if I can't see it on opening night, now I'm susceptible to all these spoilers. Like in Doctor Strange, I already saw, and I know it was in the trailer.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't watch the trailers at a certain point where you saw Professor X. Yeah. And for me, that was like the hypest moment that I found out about early. If I didn't see that, but it was probably good. If I didn't see that beforehand, I would have snapped in the theater and they would have to escort me out. I'd have been way too hyped. Like seeing Mr. Fantastic was a big thing to me because I just wanted that guy to get that role. You know what I mean? Particularly because we watched the Office.
Yeah.
Like maybe the year before from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And then we watched so much stuff during the pandemic. He had the what's it called, the Good News, or I forgot what the name of the show he had. He had like a YouTube show. He talked about good things that were happening.
I know what you're talking about, but like he would make like little he would invite like old people from the office onto the show too.
Yeah. And have like all these cool things. So it became something where I was like, this particular guy, I want him to be Mr. Fantastic. And not for nothing, his wife could be Sue Storm because she's been on a whole bunch of things before, as in action movies. I think one of my favorite ones was Live Die Repeat with Tom Cruise. I forgot what the other name for it is. But Tomorrow Never Dies. That's not it, But Edge of Tomorrow, I think Edge of Tomorrow. That was a great movie, and she was an action star in that movie. I think she would come back and do a great job.
No, 100%, man, 100%. So I mean, like you said, hopefully they get them back. But since you brought it up, man, favorite Office episode?
Ooh, favorite one?
Yeah.
Nah, I can't do that. That's
can't do that.
That's impossible. Because like even as I'm thinking about it, like my brain is like sifting through so many things at once. It's hard to choose just one. There's episodes that I like just for like the comedy of it, but then things like when they were like trying to prank Dwight and make him think that there was a different John and everything was stuff like that made me laugh a lot. But then there's things that happen for the story, like him admitting that he actually who he loved, and it was too much. It's too much for me to go into and try to pick a favorite one. That's like Big Bang Theory. Like Big Bang Theory is another episode that I watched a lot, and it's like for me to pick one episode would be almost impossible.
I get you. I'll tell you mine. Mine is when Michael and Dwight go to the dojo and then they settle their beef in there. That's honestly.
Oh yeah. That's a great one.
No, 100%, man. Yeah, no, man. So Dwight, man, again, man, you're out in the city, you're out and about, man. You're enjoying your Sunday, and I don't want to keep it for too long, you know what I mean?
Well,
huh?
I'm actually me and my family are walking to the Brooklyn Bridge, so I'm gonna go do my run, and then it's gonna be my last like a really long run before the fight. So it's all part of the training, mix it all together.
100%. Oh, yeah, and speaking of which, man, I've heard you say in another interview too. Is this gonna be the first time you've run that Brooklyn Bridge since you fought before? Yeah,
since the last time I was in New York. I haven't remember my last time running it was probably in 2012. And that was a staple of my training every single time I fought. For the entire time I've been fighting since 2006, I've been running that bridge forward and back like at least like 3 times a week. So it's a very nostalgic moment. I'm running right now, not for time or speed, but more for like nostalgia. This is the old tunes I used to listen to when I used to run before. Like Jay-Z, Threat, and like DMX and stuff like that. Like way back, they used to get me really hyped. And let's go through the run and enjoy the view, man.
No, man, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. And again, man, I'm happy for you, man. This is a real cool full circle moment. So for you to get to do this is freaking awesome, man. So
thank you, man.
yeah, I got you, man. So like I said, man, it's always awesome having you back on. You know, us, talk about movies, talk about your fight, man, because it's the best thing. You know, it's so fun. But also, man, it's your Sunday, man. I don't want to keep for too long. So before we go, do you want to plug in on your social medias to, everyone watching to follow you? Yeah.
Oh, thanks. You guys get over to Dwight Grant MMA on Instagram, Dwight Grant on Twitter, and Punches and Dragons on Twitter and YouTube. And the other one is JRP Gamers, my video game blog. I'm post stuff on there all the time. I got a bunch of stuff. Punches and Dragons on Twitch. Like I'm doing everything, fighting the video games. You know what I mean, all together. But if you follow me on one, you'll hear about it on the other one. Like some way or another. So Dwight Grant MMA on Instagram, probably the best way to get to me.
100%, man, 100%. So again, Dwight, you're the man. We're all gonna be rooting for you on next Saturday. So again, if you don't know, root for Dwight Grant on Saturday against Dustin Stolzfus on UFC on ABC next Saturday, July.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man, gotcha, man. So until next time, everyone watching, peace.